This past weekend, we had a lot of rain here in the first week of April, and so it gave me some time Saturday and Sunday to put together this zone system. And what I wanted to do is just kind of go over some of the components that take to make a zone system in a home. Now, a lot of the homes here in Metro Atlanta area, two-story homes especially, have zone systems in them. And that means that one unit is outside to feed two floors. Now, preferably, it's best to have two units outside to take care of one upstairs and one downstairs. But, for whatever reason, the builders chose to only use one unit and a zone system. It is what it is. But, if the ductwork and everything is put correctly in there, these systems seems to be operating okay. It's just a couple of more extra things, that have to be involved in it. So what you're looking at right now, these discs right now, or dampener discs as they're called, are in the open position, meaning that, let's say it's summertime or wintertime, and you're running your system, so both of these dampener discs are open. Now, these are just little 6-inch dampener disc in here that I purchased for just for this purpose of making a video. However, they go up from 4 inches all the way up to 12 inches depending on the type of equipment that you have and the size of the duct. Now, you can't see any of these dampener discs because it's all behind this flex duct or, hard pipe, whatever your system uses, okay? More than likely it's just flex, because usually this stuff is in, upstairs in the attic. But, just to show you a little bit about it, these guys are run by what we call an actuator motor, but in reality we just call it a dampener motor, and it's powered by 24 volts, and by the transformer. It transforms it from 110 down to 24 volts, for efficiency. And over here you have your circuit board, and this is where everything is connected to this zone board, circuit board. If you see all the wiring, everything starts here at the circuit board, and then it's all put in place depending on what zone you're using. So this one is what they call a 3-zone system, but we're only using 2 zones. But you can tell how many zones you have just by, if you went up in the attic and you counted how many of these dampener motors you had, then you would know the size of your zone board. So what we have here, we have a thermostat, and let's represent, this is the downstairs, and then this one, let's represent that it's the upstairs. So right now in the cool mode, both these dampeners discs are open because it's feeding air conditioning to both upstairs and downstairs. But here's what happens is that with one of the systems turned up or turned down, let's say, well, it's 58 degrees in here now, right now, okay? And so let's go ahead and just drop this guy down. I can hardly not see it. Okay, so we're below the set temperature that you have. all right? And so right now what's going to happen is that this guy is automatically, one of these is going to close. As you can see here, I have zone 1 and zone 3, and of course zone 2 is not being used. So it's going to take a little while for this to show. So here we go. Now that one is closing, and the reason it's closing is because the set temperature is at 66 and it's 58 degrees in the house. And so since we went ahead and dropped this guy down to 51 degree temperature, it's telling the system, hey, let's go ahead and let's just cool the upstairs right now. And so the downstairs is closed. Okay, so now if we basically do the same thing to this guy, and it's set at 66, so let's go ahead and set this guy down. All right, so right now it's set at 54 degree temperature, and then let's go ahead and raise this guy back up above the set temperature. So now what's going to happen is that we just told the system, hey, everything's okay upstairs. Let's go ahead and make this guy open up so that we can have some cold air downstairs. So this one is open. And here now, this one is closing. And so, basically that's how the system works. A lot of times and the reason I put this together was because a lot of my customers, they either purchase their homes with zone systems and they don't really have an idea how the system works or why it's there. All they know is that sometimes when I hear from my customers, they say, wow, the upstairs, I'm just not getting any cool air, but the downstairs I can feel air coming out. And for that reason is that these little dampener motors, sometimes they go bad, okay? There's like a round wheel with little tiny teeth on it, and it's geared to open and close that dampener. And so sometimes when the system is, let's say, closed like this, and you call for it to, open up, it doesn't open up. And the reason why is because the little dampener wheel is, frozen in place, or it fell off the little gears or whatever. And that's the reason why you don't feel any air coming through the vents, because the little disc is closed. And so I hope that makes a little bit of sense for you. And that's just the way the system is. So the only thing we can do is to go ahead and just replace the dampener motor, and either that or just take it off completely and then just manually open that disc, for the time being, until we can go ahead and pick up the part for you. So I hope that helps you guys out and lets you know basically a little bit about what a zone system is. So I appreciate you watching the video, and thank you so much.